Hello, it's been a while since I uploaded anything to this channel and I do apologise. Gonna keep it nice and simple. I've been in a major reading slump for the past so many months. I thought I was coming out of it in November. I read 7 books in November and then I fell straight back into it. Today is the 12th of February, I haven't even said what day it is. Yeah, major reading slump. I know why. After discussions with people, I know what got me into the slump. Thought I could start coming out of it in January. Didn't really. And then end of January, I became quite ill. Nothing major. I was in hospital for a couple of weeks, but nothing major. All I'll say is, if you've had your gallstones out before, like your gallbladder, did you know you can still have gallstones because your bile ducts are still there? Because I didn't. So yeah, that's the reason. But because I was in hospital, I read a book. Woohoo! I read Someone We Know by Shari LaPena. Basically, you follow a neighbourhood where a boy has been breaking into people's houses, which is the side plot. But the main plot is that a missing woman turns up dead and the whole neighbourhood is under investigation. If you've been on my channel a while, you'll know that Shara is a author that I really enjoy, but I always forget I like her. So then I go a couple of months and go, oh my god, Shari LaPena. And then I start reading her again and then I go off again. So, but yeah, she's a strong 4-star author for me, and this book was like 4 stars. I know what I'm getting into when I read Shari. She has this plot well laid out, well thought out, well written, and I know I'm going to enjoy it. So yeah, 4 stars. I am not setting myself any reading goals this year. I am starting afresh in 2025, which means there will be no reading journal for me to fill in at this moment. And for this channel, most likely will only be 1, potentially 2 videos a month of a month vlog, which is what I'm expecting this to be, and then potentially a wrap up if I've read that month. I'm not doing TBRs. I'm only setting myself a goal that if I don't stick to it, I'm not bothered, of reading 24 books this year, which means only 2 books a month. There's no point having a TBR for that. I have already been through my TBR shelves once and got rid of a lot. I want to say rid of a load of books. I only got rid of 3. So I need to keep myself on top of that because I am still buying books, and if I'm not reading that much, then I need to get rid of books on my shelves that I no longer want to read. Unfortunately, it does seem I am getting out of the fantasy books like that I used to really enjoy. Like I don't want, like I start them and then don't want to finish them or carry on after like 10 to 15%. So if you follow me in Goodreads, you will notice that the 3rd book in the Twin Crowns trilogy is still on 13% and has been for the past 3 months. I reread them 13%, like them pages, and I still get to the same point and I'm like, I don't want to carry on. That isn't anything to do with Catherine or Catherine's writing, it's just I am no longer in a fantasy mindset, which means there are books on my TBR that need to be gone because I don't think I'm going to read them. And unfortunately, that does include V.E. Schwab and Kerri Maniscalco. And now, if you know me and Kerri Maniscalco, one of my favourite fantasy authors, I'm not interested in it. There are still a couple of books that I am interested that could be fantasy-ish. So we have the 3rd book in the Finding Fire series. There is the series by T.L. Hoochu that I'm reading through. There are some that I am still interested in, but that is no longer my main genre. I am 100% on board now that my main genre is thrillers and crimes. Give me them all. So yeah, and I am just going to mood read this whole year to just try and get that reading funk back because I need to get into my reading era because, yeah, I have too many books not to. So, like I said, this will most likely be a month reading vlog. So the book I started with in February, well, halfway through February, is Conviction by Jack Jordan. Jordan. Can tell I've not done this in a while. Jack Jordan. I did go through all my hard books and were like taking them out, going right, reading the synopsis, and this was the one that was like a redo. So here we go. Where Darling stands accused of murdering his family. Neve Harper is a barrister defending him. The odds aren't in her favour, but Neve has always liked the challenge. Days before the trial begins, Neve is approached by a man late at night on the tube. She doesn't know him, but he knows her and the secret she vows to take to the grave. The man tells her she must throw her client's case. If she doesn't, he will reveal her darkest act to the world. So she now must make a choice to go against every principle she's ever had or watch everything she's built be destroyed. I have a couple more days before I go back to work. So I don't plan on finishing this today. So hopefully I'll come back to you before the Monday, which is 17th of February, to say finished. If I don't, oh well. But let's see if stripping everything back helps with the reading. Yeah. Any books that I do get rid of, some will go into a care home near to me. Others I may put up on my Vinted. If I do put them on Vinted, I will link them down below if they're still available. But yeah, it's time to get to my mindset changed. So I will hopefully come to you before I finish Conviction with an update on thoughts, and it's hopefully not a DNF. Or if not, I will come to you when I have finished Conviction. Hello. It is the 13th of February. I am not switching the camera around to me because I look atrocious, and yeah, the living room still not decorated after 2 years. But anyway, Conviction. I am now, I'm about to say 100% for some reason, over 25% of the way through this book. It is currently a 3-star read. The big twist about Neve, well, the twist, I say her big secret, we found out very quickly what that is. I'm guessing there will be another twist to that. I unfortunately saw it coming. I saw what that secret was. As soon as her backstory was read out, I was like, this is what her big secret's going to be. The thing with the case intrigues me a little bit. I'm not going to say I'm not hooked, because I've read, like I said, I read 25% at least. I think I'm 130 pages into it. And I've read that within like an hour, like in 2 30-minute sprints, which is good. So I'm not saying it's not going to hook me. At this moment, I am just very much with it. If I was to rate it, it would be a 2.5/3 stars at the moment. But yeah, I am enjoying taking my time with a book. So I may come back to you tonight and say I'm 50% of the way through. I may come back to you tomorrow saying I finished. I don't know. But yeah, fingers crossed, the reading mojo continues. Hello, apologies for the look. It is the 14th of February. Happy Valentine's Day. I finished Conviction last night. It was like 11 o'clock. I wasn't going to update you at that time. I was literally just wanting to go to bed. It is a low 2-star. I saw that ending coming a mile off. I know I said in my earlier clip, I saw the twist at the time. I saw the twist again. Nothing surprised me with this book. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Nothing surprised me except a twist that was obvious, but happened with a character that was mentioned once a couple hundred pages back, that we were meant to be like, oh my god, and I'm just like, I couldn't remember who this character was, and I was like, in my head I was like, why are we meant to know who this character is? And then our main character mentions again how this character's connected to her, and I'm like, right, so you're just an idiot then. genuinely half the things that are like characters like shocked by and worried by, and I'm like, but that's obvious. You're meant to be this barrister. How are you that I don't want to say stupid, but that naive. But maybe it's a case of book smarts, not street smarts. But yeah, 2 stars. Very tempted to make it 1. Very tempted. It's on the cusp. So a book that's definitely going to be on hold. No idea what I will be starting next because I didn't anticipate finishing so quickly. Yeah. I say I have no idea. I kind of think I want to finish the last book in the Twin Crowns trilogy just because I'm still stuck on 13%. But then I'm also thinking maybe I just take that as like 50-page chunks just so I'm not feeling like, I'm reading this. So maybe I'll do that. But there are other books I'm now looking at my shelves thinking I want to read all of you, especially knowing that I like that author. And I got a few books from pre-orders, if I can speak, yesterday, and I'm really giddy to read most of them. Although I forgot I pre-ordered a sequel to a book that I've not even read yet that's still on my shelves. That is a fantasy. However, it is from an author who I really do enjoy, also a fantasy. So I'm hoping that kind of won't be a bad thing, but I think because at least one of them signed that I may be able to sell that easily if I don't enjoy the first book. So yeah, I'll update you with what I plan on reading. I'll update you later with what I start to read. But yeah, let's hope the 2/1 star doesn't slow the reading mojo down. Hello, it's still Valentine's Day. Yes, I'm in Christmas pyjamas. It's currently 2 degrees. I am not freezing myself just to not be in Christmas pyjamas. But over the day, I have come to a conclusion about my next steps. That sounds really prolific. Basically, what books I'm going to read next. And yes, books. Burning Crowns, the 3rd book in the Twin Crowns trilogy. I am determined to have this finished by the end of February. So the plan is to read at least 40 pages a day. Or 40-page chunks. I'm currently on page 60, which is 13% of the way through. There is 400 and something pages. I'm trying to find it without spoiling. There's 457 pages in this book. So if I read like 40 to 45 pages in a slot, it's like 10%. So technically, in like 9 chunks, I can have this book finished. But because I struggle so much reading the 60 pages of this book, I will have another book alongside it that I will probably read quicker, just so that I don't go into another slump. And I have chosen Linwood Barclay, the Lie Maker. Over the past couple of years, I have started reading Linwood, and I have discovered I love their writing. So one of my goals over the next 2 years, I was going to set it for this year, but we'll say 2 years, is to read Linwood's backlog, and if space and money and time allow, also Frida McFadden's backlog. I have a pile of her books over there, and I'm actually just going to set myself a little list in one of the little journals I've got, of Linwood's backlog and Frida's backlog and all of my favourite authors, like all their books, like just to make sure I'm on top of like reading them, just so that it's not like in the Shara Le Penna where I forget I like them, and then a couple of years later I'm like, oh my god, I've missed like 7 books. So yes, Twin Crowns trilogy. You are following Rose and Ren, 2 sisters who were split apart when they were younger, twins, on opposite sides of a war. One is very much for magic, one is not for magic. Can't really say much more without spoiling it, but that's basically what book 1 is. And then you have book 2, and then there are developments, and then you have book 3 where which is what I'm reading, where, yeah. The Lie Maker. Your dad's not a good person. Your dad killed people some. These are some of the last words Jack Given's father said to him before he was whisked away by witness protection, leaving Jack and his mother to pick up the shattered pieces of their lives. Years later, Jack is a struggling author recruited by the US Marshals to create false histories for people in witness protection. Jack knows this could be his chance to find his dad, but then it becomes clear his dad has gone missing, and he has some pretty lethal enemies. Enemies that will stop at nothing to get revenge, even if that means using his son against him. Up my alley. So yeah, this is 300 and something pages, I believe. 367 pages. I should get this read over the weekend and then potentially pick up another book. But yeah, we'll see how I go. I am going to read another 30-ish pages just to get to 90% for this. 90 pages, so like 20% mark for Burning Crowns tonight. I'll start The Lie Maker tomorrow, and then we'll see how we progress through both books this weekend. So yeah, I will update you hopefully tomorrow on both books. Just a quick update. My whole thing of only reading like 10% gone out the window. Once I hit like page 140, 150, I just want to keep reading. So I haven't started The Lie Maker. I have 100 pages left. It's about 10:30 at night. I think I'm going to finish Burning Grounds tonight, guys. And I am really enjoying it. Apart from the romances are just far too obvious. But once it got into the actual plot, I was really enjoying it. But these two in the front need to start freaking speaking to each other. So yeah, we'll most likely update you in the morning with a final rating, but this will be book 3 of the year read. Hello, it is the 16th of February. It is 11:20 and we will look over the fact that I have just woken up, well, 20 minutes ago and still in pyjamas. So yeah, we'll look over that. As you saw from the previous clip, I finished Burning Crowns. I ended up giving it 4 stars. This whole trilogy has been a 4 stars. For me, once I got past that 140, 150 page mark and you really got into the action again, I really enjoyed it. I think the thing I think the thing that annoyed me in that first like 20 to like 30% mark was the fact that these two don't speak to each other when they need to. And then we have the romance that is most obvious, and I'm like, why? I'm not interested in this one. And the other romance / triangle, and I'm like, I'm not interested because it's quite obvious who you're going to end up with. I don't think an announcement of a spin-off helped that. Going off comments on Goodreads, a lot of people saw the announcement of the spin-off before finishing this book and were like, oh well, I've just been spoiled. Was the ending obvious? Yes. It's a YA trilogy. You're not going to have a massively unexpected ending, but I like Catherine and Catherine's writing. I really enjoy this trilogy. I have pre-ordered the 2 spin-offs just because they are characters who I do want to read more about the first one rather than the second one, but I think he may grow on me. But as it gets nearer to the publication days, I will look at them pre-orders and be like, do I still want it? Because obviously, as I said, I think I'm kind of petering off fantasy, but maybe if it's a series that I enjoyed, I may want to keep reading. Let's see. But now that's finished. That is book 3 of the year done. So I will start The Lie Maker today. I'm not going to say straight away, probably the next hour or two. I know there are some reading sprints live on YouTube, so I will just chuck them on and just see how far I get. I want to say I can finish it today. Will I though? Probably not. Just because I do have to get ready for work and stuff, and because I've been in hospital for 2 weeks, I need to get back into the routine of getting ready for work on a Sunday. So ramble over. I will update you sometime today with an update on the lie maker. But I think I will stick to this being a month vlog, even though I've already read 3 books, just because I don't think I'll have any time to edit next week because of things. So yeah, like I said, I'll come and update you when I have made some progress with the lie maker. Hello, Monday evening. I can't remember when I last updated you. I think it was when I was just about to start the lie maker. I am currently 45% of the way through the lie maker. I am enjoying it as I thought I would with Linwood's books, the few that I've read. Really enjoying it. Really sucked in to the plot quite quickly. Well developed main character. I quite like his backstory. I like where his story currently is. We have a bit of a understanding of how he's gotten this opportunity with the government. We have our side characters. One side character that I absolutely do not like, his girlfriend or whatever they are. She's just a bit of a A-word at this moment in time, and so is his stepdad. Yeah, don't want to say too much about spoiling, but yeah, I like the description of how and why he got into his new role of work for the government, making false histories for people in witness protection. I like how he went about it as well for his first assignment. And the 2 characters mainly associated with the US Marshals who have recruited him. I want more of them because I can see that being a nice little friendship group between the 3 of them. Minor spoiler, the reason I don't like his girlfriend is a writer for the newspaper. I can't remember what newspaper it is. It's like a local big newspaper, if that makes sense. And he says, oh, I've got this interview with the government. After the interview says, can't tell you what it is, sworn to secrecy, will literally lose my job, da da da. And instead of being like, all right, okay, I trust you, she's like, okay, then uses her resources to try and find out what his job is. Why? He's told you he cannot tell you for reasons, and you're just like, yeah, screw that, I'm gonna go like find out what it is. No, especially when she's digging into quite a big story, which I think will interlink with him quite soon, or soonish. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you know your boyfriend's been struggling for money. Be happy he has a job that he seems happy with. Let him do it. You've got this story here that you already know there's something fishy going on. Concentrate on that this can be your big story. So we know that's going to come together, and then his stepfather, who's only been mentioned a couple of times, he looks to being dragged into this bigger story with our main character's father, who, yeah, we still haven't met him apart from in flashbacks, which is something I quite like about Linwood. He tends to, he doesn't just give you all the information at once. He's like, you're in the present, and then we'll have a chapter in the back, like in the past, so you kind of are catching up as to how things have happened and to get to the present. So yeah, my aim isn't to finish this book tonight. I am not going to read 55% a night. I've had my first day back at work. I am shattered. I want to read all 55% throughout this week, so Friday I end up finishing this book, because I'm in no rush to read books anymore. Gavin from Gavin Reads a Lot is currently on sprint. He's on sprint 3 or 4. So I'll just join for that last, I say join, obviously just, yeah, watch it for the last sprint. That should easily give me a great chunk of time to get through a decent chunk of this book. And then I have been thinking about what book I want to read next. So if you are on Goodreads, you will have noticed for the reading challenge we have these 6 quests. I'm in no rush of, oh my god, I want to get these 6 quests, because I think you get these bookmarks like they're like every 4 months to have new challenges. I don't understand it. But I did go through these like lists and I was like, right, okay, do I have any books on these lists that I could potentially read and get this bookmark? Even if I get one, I'll be happy. And I do. I think there's 3 categories that I have books in that I could read and get that bookmark for. And there's 6 books in total. They're just over there, I will show you, but yeah. Let's just say putting washing away, I didn't realise how many pairs of underwear I have and now they're piling up, but anyway, yeah. So I have them over there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a 6-sided dice when I finish Lie Maker, roll the dice, whatever book it lands on, they're in an order, that's the order they're in. If it's book 5, for example, it will be The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. If it's number 3, it will be Throne of the Fallen by Karen Maniscalco. And then I will just read that book for the rest of this month if needed. But then, yeah, 5 of the books are books that I would class as fantasy, well, that are fantasy, and that I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy them just because of how I've been feeling with fantasy recently. And then one of them is a thriller mystery that I really want to read. And that isn't another author that if I like her, I will read more of her backlog. But when I come to making that choice and rolling the dice, I will of course let you know and let you know the books. So yeah, I will stop waffling. Hopefully my next update will be when I finished, and it will be Friday at the latest, and it will be a good start, good end, and I will not go into another reading slump. But let's see. Hello, it's Friday the 21st of February, it's 7 o'clock. I finished the Lie Maker last night. It was like 9:45, so I wasn't going to go and update and review. Well, rating. Really enjoyed this book. Gave it a 4 stars just because there was a few things where I did enjoy the book. I did. It's just the pacing was a little off. Like, it was really slow. And then the last 50 pages, it got really, really fast. Everything got wrapped up. There was a storyline which I was a bit confused about, like a side one where I was like, I don't get this and you've not wrapped it up. But I didn't see the twist coming, which kickstarted the really, really quick ending. But that connects to the backstory, because like, how was that not known if that was known, I'll say, unless I am completely oblivious and have missed like a part of this book. Our main character was really well developed, Jack, really well developed. I did like who ended up being our villain. I quite liked them. His girlfriend, I kind of have changed my mind about her. In my last update, I did say I found her very annoying. I was like, really, why are you doing this? At the end, I liked her because, yeah, but yeah, and that character that died, I'll say, because I'm not really feeling anything. I get why they died. I just wish they hadn't died, if that makes any sense at all. So yeah, book 4 of the year done. I am now on track with reading 24 books for the year. But of course I'm not going to stop reading. Also hasn't made me dislike Linwood Barclay, so my quest over the next 2 years to read his old backlog continues. So as I kind of said a few days ago, Goodreads have these challenges / bookmarks, quest things that you can earn by reading books that hit that challenge. I went through all 6 challenges and to see if there are any books on my TBR shelves that I could read and get this bookmark. I'm not aiming for all 6. I have 6 books here. They would get me, if I read 3 of the books, they would get me 3 bookmarks. If I get 1 bookmark, I'll be happy. These bookmark or challenges, I think, are only till the end of April. I will double check. Yes, end of April. I just had to double check. So the 6 books are ta-da! So they're the 6 books. I will show you which books would get me which challenge. Well, bookmark. So the first 3. So if I was to read Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter, The Poppy War by Ira Kwang, or Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco, I would get the Buzzy Books bookmark. If I'm correct, yeah, so this is basically read a book that is like readers' favourites. If I was to read Throne of the Fallen, I would also get the bookmark Sweet and Spicy, and that is to read a spicy book. And if I was to read Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman, The Fragile Thread of Power by V.E. Schwab, or Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Toz, I think that's how you pronounce it, I would get Epic Quest, which is to read a epic fantasy, I believe. So to pick which book I read next, I'm going to roll a 6-sided dice, and numbers 1 to 6. So I've numbered each book 1 to 6, and then whatever number I roll, that is the book I will read next. So here is my 6-sided dice. We have books 1 to 6. Let's see what book I am reading next. 6. Ink Blood Sister Scribe. So as you can see, it was number 6 that came up on the dice. It didn't roll that great, but I wasn't re-rolling. So that is Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Toz. And the tagline is, "Not all books should be opened." I will read you the synopsis because I'm going to be completely honest. I have forgotten what this book's about. Joanna Colleté lives alone in the woods of Vermont, the sole protector of a collection of rare books. Books that will allow someone to walk through walls or turn water into wine. Books of magic. Her estranged older sister Esther moves between countries and jobs, constantly changing, never staying anywhere longer than a year, desperate to avoid the deadly magic that killed her mother. Currently working on the research base in Antarctica, she has found love and perhaps a sort of happiness. But when she finds spots of blood on the mirrors in the research base, she knows someone is coming for her, and that Joanna and her collection are in danger. If they are to survive, Esther and Joanna must unravel the secrets that their parents kept hidden from them. Secrets that span centuries and continents and could cost them their lives. So yeah, that is Ink Blood Sister Scribe. It is just over 400 pages long, so I will give it till the 100-page mark before I decide if I will DNF or continue. I'm not going with a DNF in mind, it's just I know what I've been like with fantasy recently, and even before my reading slump, so I don't want to push myself back in there just to complete a book. I can't remember if this is YA or not, but I'm going in with a non-biased mind. With it being just over 400 pages, I want to say I can complete it this weekend. I'm not pushing it, but if I don't finish this, if I do DNF, I will pick up either Magic Lessons or The Fragile Threads of Power just to get the Epic Quest bookmark, because I want to get at least 1 bookmark. That is the the major competitive side of me. That's how I'm keeping that bit happy. So yeah, so I will update you at the 100-page mark, hopefully, to say if I'm continuing or not and give some thoughts. If it's before, then we know it's a DNF, or I'm like, oh my god, why am I saying I might DNF this book? Hello, yes, we are back in the living room. I am 100 pages in, well, just over 100 pages into Ink, Blood, Sister Scribe, which is 26% of the book. Thoughts. It's very slow. It is a very slow book. I feel like with Joanna and Esther's POVs, I'm just getting pages of the same thing. In Joanna's, nothing is changing. In the last POV of Esther's, something has changed, but I think it's something that was quite obvious. Slight spoiler, we do have a third main character called Nicholas. Nicholas's story intrigues me a little bit more than the sisters, and is a little bit more action-paced. But he's very naive. Not his fault at all. It's from his upbringing, but he's very naive, and he's just like, he's made an observation about a character's facial expressions, and he's like dismissed it, and I'm like, you've hit that on the head. You've hit that on the head. Do not dismiss it. I'm going to carry on reading this book, but I'm going to take it 50 to 100 pages at a time. A lot of reviews have said it picks up in the second half. Hopefully it does. If nothing keeps happening in Joanna's POV, I'm just going to be skipping her pages. Esther just needs to become a bit less lovey-dovey. Yeah. I am intrigued as to how Nicholas fits in with the sisters' storyline. I think I know how he's gonna fit in, but I don't get how he's going to get to their storyline. Apologies, I've just realised how dry my hands are. So yeah, we'll carry on. I read the 100 pages pretty quickly in about 50 minutes. So we'll most likely finish this book tomorrow, hopefully. But yeah, let's see how I feel for the next 100 pages, and I will let you know if I will finish or DNF. Hi, it's Saturday the 1st of March. As you can probably tell from the non-updates, I didn't finish Ink, Blood, Sister Scribe by the end of February. I'm going to be completely honest, was knackered after work this week. Honestly, I don't know why, but I do. Didn't even want to attempt to pick up any books. I was thinking, if I don't want to read this, I'll pick something else up. Didn't even want to pick a book up, so I didn't. But because it is the start of a new month, I'm not putting this book down. I am going to attempt to finish this weekend. And then hopefully finish this vlog on Sunday and have it up next week, and then start a new vlog if the reading continues. So yeah. It is pretty early for me for a Saturday anyway, when I've got nothing to do except shopping. Well, food shop. It's like 10 to 8, well, nearly 10 to 8, and my alarm is set for 8:30. So I'm going to see how many pages I can read in 40 minutes. Hopefully it's another 100-ish pages. But I am still going to do what I said in my last update, that I'm going to give it another 100 pages and see how I feel. If I feel it's picking up a bit more and it's not just the same thing from the same person, I'm gonna keep going with it if I still if I'm liking it. But yeah, if I'm feeling that same where it's the same person repeating the same thing and nothing is moving, or nothing looks like it's going to move within like the next 20 pages after that 100 page, it'll be a DNF. So yeah, I will update you when I have got to 8:30, or just after, and let you know where I am and if I am continuing. Promise I will this time. So it's 8:30. I read another 60 pages. One of the sisters' storyline, June, Judith, July, I can't remember her name, which is, I'm a bit bored of storyline when I'm reading a book and I can't even remember that person's name. I'm really close to skipping her chapters because she is like a petulant child, in my opinion, and the way she acts to her mum, Cecily, like, I get that she thinks what Cecily did was a bad thing. But at the same time, I'm just like, that's your mum. She raised you. There's a reason she did that. She didn't kill anyone or anything like that. So it's like, I'm just like, you're being a bee for no reason, and I just don't like you, and your storyline is boring me. Esther's storyline, something has finally happened in the last chapter, which was obvious. I'm not going to lie. And she was so naive in thinking what she was thinking. But Nicholas's storyline, it's only slightly keeping my attention more than it was. We've had that reveal, and I'm just like, okay. I know it's meant to be shocking, and don't get me wrong, at first I was like, when he saw what was on the shelf, and then I was thinking, I thought, no, that makes sense when you know what you know about their family. That makes sense, because ancestors have been creeps. So I am going to keep reading at the moment. It is a 2.5, just maybe 3 stars. But I'm just going to keep reading 60 pages at a time. And then I won't update you every 60 pages unless it's a DNF or a, oh my god, this book has turned out to be amazing. So yeah, for read 60 page chunks, I could hopefully get it finished today if I finish it. And then read a book that's not on that pile of books for bookmarks. I'm going to read something I want to read off my shelves, because yeah. So that's the update for now. I'll come back and update you a bit later. Hopefully it's when I'm finished, and it's not a DNF because I'm bad. Hello, it is Saturday evening. I want to say near 8 o'clock at night. I have finished Ink Blood Sister Scribe. I'm giving it a weak 3 stars. I agree with the reviews completely. The second half of this book, so much better than the first half. The first half just drags. I know people will say it's because you've got to get information, but at the same time, I'm getting the same information repeated by one of the most boring characters sometimes. So saying that, the twist, I saw all but one. As I was reading, I was like, yep. It was the twist with the mum, that tiny twist with mum and dad. That's the only one I didn't see coming. But the rest I was like, okay. I was expecting another twist with Nick and Esther. I'm not a spoiler at all. Potential spoiler. I was expecting them to be like long lost twins or something. I was surprised that didn't happen. Yeah, and then the ending, I was like, it wrapped up really quickly. And I know you're thinking, Michelle, but you've just been saying you hate the fact the first half dragged. I still stick to that, but the fact this all got sorted within 30 to 40 pages, like, it was like, oh, okay, and it's all wrapped up, and okay. I do agree with something that Ada has put on her Goodreads comment, that this could be the start of a good series. I kind of agree. I can see either this being the start of a series, or I can see Emma writing other books within this world, because this was her first novel, I have to say. I have to say, for a first novel, quite decent-ish. I've read worse. But yeah, the dragginess, and I kept calling her Judith and June in my head. Joanna as a character, I get she was written that way because she was very naive. She's been kept in a box. I get that. I couldn't like her. Esther, Nicholas was the standout character for me, and Collins. Also, again, potential spoiler, the potential romance between Collins and Joanna. No, we need to cut that. We need to cut that now. There is no need. That was literally sprung upon us. But I know it's because, oh, this is the first guy she's seen that's not family. Well, which is a lie, because she's seen other guys around the town. But you know what I mean? I'm just like, it's like insta love. I'm just like, on her side, I'm just like, why? Why does that need to be in here? It doesn't. Book 5 of the year done. I will be unhauling this at the end of the year. But that is this reading month vlog wrapped up, I wanted to say. So, before I finish this vlog, I have made a decision on Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman. As much as I love Practical Magic and the sequel book, I've had this prequel on my shelf for so long, and I'm just like, I don't want to read it. I honestly don't want to read it. I know a lot of people want to read it because, like, you get to see the start of the curse. We've heard the story so many times, and I'm guessing someone will say, oh, yeah, but it's different than what we've been told. I get that. I've just been staring at that book for so, like, I want to say 2 years at this point, and I've never had the urge to pick it up, even when I bought it. So, yeah. While I say it's getting unhauled, I'm going to leave it till the end of the year. I've been looking at my shelves, and there's about potentially up to 10 books where I'm like, if I don't read you by the end of this year, you've got to go. I'm not going to do with these books will self-destruct in 12 months video. I never stick to them when I do them. So I'm just going to have a pile over there on my shelf. And it can change throughout the year. If I read a book, obviously it'll come off. If I decide halfway through the year, yeah, that's definitely got to go. It will get unhauled. But yeah, I'm going to have a pile. And if by the 31st of December, they haven't been read, they're getting unhauled in my after Christmas unhaul. So this will be book number 1 on there. But now I can wrap up this monthly vlog. It's been a good return, let's just say. But I do have to admit, and I said to my sisters, I think if I hadn't been in hospital, I don't think the reading mojo would have come back. So that's why I'm not going to sit here and say, you'll see a video every week from me. It might be a vlog every 2 weeks. It might be like this, a vlog of 1 vlog a month. It might be a vlog a week, depending on what I've read. But I'm going to aim for 2 vlogs a month. Let's see if the reading mojo keeps to that. Though, again, like I said to start this vlog, there won't be a TBR video every month. If I decide to do one, my reading must be really, really good. So, yeah, 5 books read. I will class the first book as February, even though technically it was read in January. Let me get the books, actually. So, as I was saying, 5 books read for February. Can you tell I've not done this in a while? I will say what I rated them. Don't ask me my thoughts. I'm literally just going off vibes, I think, majority of the time. If I get the rating wrong, I will put it somewhere. So book 1 was Someone We Know by Shari LaPena, 4 stars. Book 2, Conviction by Jack Jordan. I rated it 2 stars. This is actually going to a colleague next week. I was like, do you want to read it? She was like, yep, I like it, perfect. You can have it if you like it. Book 3, Burning Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber. I give this 4 stars. I think 4 stars. Then we have The Lie Maker by Linwood Barclay. I give this 4 stars. And wrapping up February, we have Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres, 3 stars. So this will also be being unhauled sometime in the year. So yeah, a good start to 2025. Let's see how it carries on. I would normally say if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't. I'm not going to say that just because I can't guarantee when my next video will be. If you want to subscribe, please feel free. If you want to leave a comment, leave a like, again, feel free. Yeah, until I upload again. Bye.